Sunrise on Salt TV, another blissful moment on television.
A very good morning and welcome to Sunrise on Salt Television here in South of the Nation, Abakaliki, the state capital of Ebonyi State. My name is Laura Amanza, and this is me saying a very big welcome to this station, the South of the Nation. Yes, it was a very busy weekend. In fact, this weekend was one of the busiest I've had in a long time. No time to rest or anything like that. And then in Nigeria too, it was full of activities. The Super Eagles outing with DR Congo, and then of course the PDP convention, and a whole lot of other things that happened.
And Fayoshe's 65 birthday celebration.
Okay, so many. Well, Sunday Ndukwe is there with me, so he's going to be helping me. I don't know. Sonny, how was your weekend?
Just as you said at the beginning, as media people, weekend is always full of activities.
Yes.
You know, most times media men, you know, either you are covering wedding, or you are covering one traditional coronation, or one function or the other. And
even in Abakaliki, I think we also had our own local football that was, I think the youth football FC yesterday was also kicked off in Abakaliki too. Yesterday at the Ngelorita Township Stadium.
Making the weekend being full of activities for media persons.
It was full of activities, especially here in the Ebonyi State, with so many things happening. All right, so we are going to just be looking at the newspaper headlines today, and then me and Sonny will see how we go about that. So we have the Vanguard, we have the Punch, we have Daily Independence, the Guardian, and of course a Daily Sun newspaper. So let's start with the Daily Sun newspapers this morning. And the screaming headline there says, PDP crisis, battle shifts to state. Weakest men plots counter-offensive. Ibadan Convention, a jamboree. Anyanwu, South Zonal scribe to Turner dismisses the expulsion, claims reaffirms loyalty to Wike. All this is on the riders on today's Daily Sun with the headline saying battle shift to states. Okay, so you want to read that, go pick up the Daily Sun. You will see all that and more in the Daily Sun. And we also have here, still on the Daily Sun, Tinubu's peace envoy to Plateau State with critical stakeholders. That is from 17 LGAs. That is also coming from the Daily Sun. We quality have Nnamdi Kanu sues NMA, demands 50 million damages over medical reports. I think that is Nigerian Medical Association. Nnamdi Kanu is also suing them. All right, that takes us to the Guardian newspaper. Today, on the Guardian newspaper, we have 2026 budget delays spark fiscal spending concern uncertainty. 2026 budgets delays spark fiscal spending concern uncertainty. That is on the page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have PDP's future in doubt after disputed convention returns to Turaki, elects new working committee, and Tinubu deploys peace envoy to Plateau State as DSS arrests arms dealers. And we also almost all the newspapers have that one. DR Congo ends Nigerians 2026 World Cup dreams. That is rather unfortunate there. Okay, that is the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper. Now we go to the Daily Independent paper. Daily Independent. We have experts warn of physical instability as Nigerians' borrowing grows. Experts warn of physical instability as Nigerians' borrowing grows. That is coming from the Daily Independent. And we'll also have there, disguised contracts staffing creates safety blind spots at airports. All right, that is also on the Daily Independent. We equally have the time running out for Nigeria to tackle oil, gas, methane emission. That is coming also from the Daily Independent. We have Tinubu sends emissary to Plateau State to broker peace. Syrup gives CBN 7 days to account for alleged 3 trillion missing funds. And Gumi false call for his arrest, defense engagement with bandits. FG urged to apologize, reverse mother tongue policy. I think that is the thing that is still raging, this mother tongue policy issue. And then we now go to the Punch newspaper. Alleged Christian genocide. U.S. Congress begins full-scale probe into Nigerians' killings. That is the alleged killing is still raging, the genocide claim. And then Nigeria, the writer said Nigerian church leaders to testify in Congress Thursday. Tinubu peace emissary meets Plateau Christian Fulani leaders. Okay, let's see how that plays out. Now we go to the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard has the lead in here. As back profits rebound to 2.5 trillion, manufacturers shun bank loans over high interest rates. Okay, we still have the convention of controversies. That is on the PDP convention, how Turaki emerged as PDP chairman. Okay, okay. Let's say that's the newspapers we have. Now let's start with the U.S. Congress as they begin full-scale investigation into the Nigerian killings, the claims of genocide, and now they're saying that even Christian leaders will be testifying on that Congress. This will be coming up on Thursday. What is your thoughts on that?
You know, before now, the one of the U.S. senators has been bringing this matter of issue of Christian killing, genocide in Nigeria, and that has been in the U.S. Congress for about 3 months now or more. As far as it came to the public knowledge. So it is no longer an issue that we are not all aware of, for the fact that it is because of the presentation by that particular senator in the Congress that I believe made Trump, President Trump, to make his declaration, presidential declaration, designing Nigeria as a country of particular concern. So what we have on that page of the newspaper is actually talking about the Congress right away, trying to gather information, a kind of eyewitness kind of information, Not that they don't have information of what is going on, but they want, public, not just the Congress, but persons who are still having debates, whether if the declaration by Mr. Trump and the activities by the U.S. Congress on that matter, whether it is issue of just politics or antics by the U.S. government. They want to make it, they want to make people understand that this matter is not just an antic or a kind of politics, but a reality. If Christians or persons from the area where this issue is happening would come forward, before the U.S. Congress and bring up the issue and present evidence, that this is what is going on and this is the nature of the kind of killings, that is going on. So that is what I believe the U.S. Congress is trying to bring, before the international community, for everybody to understand the reality in place within the Nigerian system.
All right. Now we also have this other headline where the present administration has sent a peace envoy to Plateau State to negotiate peace with the Fulanis and the and the Christian community in Plateau State. Do you see that that move being spurred because of the present stance on the Nigerian, the claims of Christians being killed? I mean, before now, why hasn't this happened? Why do they have to wait until now when it appears that, okay, the world has suddenly woken up and it is now that our own government is waking up to that reality? And I mean, for me, do you see this having any impact at all on the grief and the pains that a lot of families had to endure in Plateau State over years now?
I don't know how many places that they intend to, send these envoys. Are you going to send them after Plateau? You send them to Benue. Then maybe later you send them to Adamawa, send them to Borno. The issue is that nobody has right to take over anybody's land in the guise of, cattle rearing. Nobody has such right. You don't even have right to go into people's farm with your animals and then destroy their farms. Then when they respond, you also attack them, even collecting their land. That is not acceptable. The government should move fast. Whoever is responsible for killings should be arrested and persecuted. They should not pamper these kind of things. It does not call for. Are you going to send envoy also to maybe Southern Kaduna, where we are having issues of people coming in the night or in the early morning, to attack communities and then make them leave their central home, and then taking over the whole places? Federal government should not pretend as if, they don't understand actually what is going on in these places.
You know what I also found interesting in the Plateau case is that it took the cry of the Reverend Dachomo for serious attention now to start coming to Plateau State. I mean, this is a state that over 67 communities have been overrun and taken over by bandits, terrorists, or whatever you want to call them. The Fulani headsmen, they kill these people, drive them away, and then come and occupy those lands. So I don't know, this envoy, you say you are trying to broker peace. The peace, is it that you are now going to, as these Fulanis that have taken over those communities, pack and go back to where you're coming from, and let the real owners of the land return? I don't know, because that is why it is not good to also allow evil to fester. Because when they fester like that, it now becomes difficult to get rid of them. So just like you rightly asked, are they now going to be sending envoys to all these other communities that have been sacked by terrorists and the headsmen who are there, the marauders who are there destroying people's lives, homes, and their source of livelihood? So I don't know. And then we're also just joining that the call for Gumi's Sheikh Gumi's arrest. If you recall that some few years back, when there was an intelligence report that was sent to Saudi Arabia about the activities of Gumi with that man, that terrorist from Nigeria, there was communication, those that bombed, that wanted to hijack the plane, or that actually hijacked the plane, and he was fished out. And then there was that intelligence that there was serious communication between that young man and Sheikh Gumi. And when Gumi got to Saudi Arabia, he was arrested for 6 months. He was detained in Saudi, and after that he was brought back. And then subsequently, I think in the early 2020s now, he led a delegation of Muslims to pilgrims to Saudi too, and they denied him entry. So this is an Arabian nation, and it's the headquarters of Islam. They are not playing with what Gumi is doing. I mean, they don't allow negotiators, people who fraternize or sympathizers of bandits, to enter their country freely. Then why is Nigerian government treating this with kid's glove? People are calling for his arrest. And he said that he has not done anything wrong. What has he done wrong by negotiating with bandits? Meanwhile, his PA was arrested with monies that was negotiated with bandits. So I don't know why Gumi is still roaming free I don't understand why the Nigerian government doesn't seem or interested in nipping in the bud the activities of Sheikh Gumi. Or are we saying that Nigerian government has a policy to have somebody negotiate with bandits,
No,
with terrorists?
You see, just as you have narrated, you know, the issue of sending envoy. When the envoy gets to these locations, those guys that are extremists has no business with whatever envoy that are sent or not sent. Mm-hmm. The guys that does this job of maiming people in their communities, cutting away their properties, destroying homes, those guys are not available in those places that you'll be talking about, envoy coming to discuss peace. They are not there. They have already assigned, they have given themselves an assignment to continue to perpetuate this kind of wickedness. And that is the reason why countries like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Qatar, you know, don't believe in persons who are extreme in this their religion. And that is what we have seen around someone like this Gumi you are talking about. Many of the persons around him are kind of extremists. What do you call people who sympathize with bandits, people who sympathize with terrorists? How do you describe such persons? They are as good as the extremists. Just as you rightly pointed out, the guy that was working with Gumi in the name of negotiation, just as you said, it was discovered that the guy was having the money that were given to these people. He was having them, and then what happened? He was arrested, tried, but now we don't know the location where the guy is
exactly
right now.
Well, arrested and tried on air, and then what happens after?
The most important thing is that federal government should go after these extremists. They should go after them. We had the issue of Al-Zazagi then, who was in charge of a particular, is this Shiite group or whatever? When Brutai was chief of army staff. We saw what happened there when Brutai was, they blocked the road, and even when he came out from the vehicle and identified himself as the chief of army staff in Zaria, they refused. They were about attacking him, which led to the death of many persons in that group, which subsequently led to the arrest of the leader. What happened afterwards?
Why is the case of Gumi different?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Government should not be doing hanky-panky, putting gloves when talking about these extremists. Anybody that is guilty or is known for going about killing people, they should be arrested and persecuted. There's no peace in discussing with people who will never change in their attitude. What kind of peace are you talking about with them? Arrest these people and let the law take its course. That is the correct thing that should be done. I don't believe in this agenda.
Honestly,
it's just like buying time, or maybe they want the international community to see that they are doing something. That is not the right thing they should be doing.
I think because towing this line, it appears that Nigerian government appears to be playing politics with lives. You understand? Because I don't see why Gumi should be roaming free. I keep saying this. I don't see the reason why.
The reason why you are seeing Gumi roaming free is that they have people in the army. The other day I saw him decorating his son.
His son is in the army?
Yes, I saw him, I think, as a commissioned officer.
Yeah.
I saw a video where he was. So they have people all over the place in the politics, in political office, in the army, and all that. So it becomes difficult for such kind of persons now to be brought before book, you know. But federal government should be able to have that political will to say, no, all these things lies before the office of the president. This is wrong. This is wrong. Anybody that is responsible for this, they should not be allowed to be walking around, you know, destroying homes and killing people in the name of. If you ask them, they will tell you that they are doing jihad. And what is jihad?
What is jihad?
Jihad is actually anybody that does not believe in your religion, they should leave. That is it.
So those of us who are Christians should leave Nigeria.
If they continue to conquer, is it not how if you listen to Babachir David Lawa the other day, he said that it is the agenda of those people, those Fulanis that came into northern Nigeria many years ago, who were conquering land and Islamizing places, that it is that agenda that is still going on. Former Secretary to the federal government made this assertion. He said that is what is still happening. It's just that then, those days, when those guys were doing those things, that some of them in the north who were Christian resisted it. But that agenda has not died up. So there are groups who are faceless, who are still pursuing that agenda. So federal government should not behave as if they are not aware. So those faceless groups are not faceless actually. They are among us, and they should be fished out. When they come in the day, and they will behave as if nothing is going on. When they go behind, they continue perpetuating the agenda. Babachir David Lawa made this comment I'm discussing now. Yeah. So that is the issue.
And they see.
So people should not be behaving as if nothing is happening. There is a kind of agenda for the Islamization of certain territories. That is just a fact.
Is it certain territories or Nigeria?
No, as they are going now, they continue.
Yes.
They continue.
Because now there's also that belief that...
you cannot Islamize a place forcefully.
Yeah.
But that is what they are doing now.
Yes, it's like whether you like it or not, we must take over.
So
and they are seeing the Middle Belt as a stumbling block to actually proceeding with the agenda.
If you want your religion, for people to accept it, you go ahead, do
it's by conviction and not by
evangelism. But that is not the agenda of those guys. Their own is that if they don't come by evangelism, they go by force.
They are not even evangelizing. They are just using brutal force.
So this brutal force is that agenda that you hear when they say that they want to Islamize a place. That is a fact. Federal government should not say they're not aware of it, and that should not be acceptable because it's against the Constitution. Yeah,
and that was one of the fears that when this APC brought the Muslim tickets, and the Christian community were like, how can in a state, in a nation where you have Christians, you have Muslims, you have traditionalists and people who have all kinds of faiths.
That is it.
You now bring one particular religion to rule, as vice, as the president.
So
these are some of the fears that people have, and it appears it's playing out.
Making reference to what Babachir Lawa was saying a few days ago. He said while he was still the SGF, some persons went into his farm, with cow and cattle. And I asked them, why do you people went in there? They said that their brother is the president. They can go anywhere. While he was SGF, somebody was telling him to his face. So it's not actually that their brother sent them, but they feel emboldened. They feel emboldened. They are becoming bold because their brother is in power. Now, what happens now when you have a Muslim and a Muslim?
They are having a field day.
So they now feel that we are in charge. They have that orientation that government need to resist and say no, that is not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is not how it should be. That we have this political arrangement does not embolden any kind of terrorism or embolden any kind of wickedness. Yeah. It is in government's doorstep to do this work.
Anyway, we pray that the government is listening. 2027 is just around the corner, and we hope that they will not also play politics with our lives, because if you want to please certain shadows because you want to win an election at the detriment of the citizens, I don't know, by the time they kill everybody, I don't know whom you're going to be leading or whom you're going to be ruling, as it were. So let's pray that these measures they are taking, these peace measures, in quotes, that it will yield a result. Okay, let's keep watching that. It's an ongoing conversation, and we are following up to see how it plays out. Now, let's go to the the PDP convention that happened on Saturday. Now, the battle has shifted to states. Now, I don't know if you watched that convention, and you saw when Bode George came and declared that Wike should be expelled. Those that are playing anti-party should be expelled, and the whole shenanigans that surrounds this this convention. First, the rulings are still there, so we don't know which is which, and most importantly, INEC was not there. INEC presence was not there, and I think it is part of what should be that the INEC should be there to observe. So I don't know, INEC was not there. Then Bode George also came out and made that declaration as a founding member of PDP. I don't know if that thing was thought through, because you now see that the reaction of the states, that was not an agreement. They never talked or discussed about expelling anybody. That for that to have happened, it should have been something that was discussed and agreed upon. And that's why some states are like, no, we are not going to stand for that. That was not the agreement. And then the emergence of the new chairman, the publicity secretary, the secretary of the party, and all that. In fact, people are saying that PDP has finally died. They are in the mortuary now, waiting to be moved to the cemetery. What is your take? Do you agree with that assertion, with what played out during this convention?
Talking about INEC, INEC is still studying the judgment. Maybe when they finish studying, they may go back to do another convention so that INEC will now be there to monitor it. No, actually, illegality cannot stand, with time. Then talking about Bode George, that motion supposed to have been moved long time ago, because what is right is right. But it's unfortunate that the motion that was moved now is also causing issues within the party. But that is what it's supposed to be. Anti-party activity calls for suspension or expulsion from the party. That is how it is done. Most of the political party has that in their constitution. If you are found wanting with anti-party activities, it's either you are suspended or you are expelled from the party. So that motion, whether it was discussed or was not discussed, the convention is the highest body of the party, where decisions are binding, where even the constitution can be amended. It is during convention that if party wants to amend their constitution, that is where all the powers of the party is vested on. So it's just that the man, Bode George, an elderly person, who moved that motion, the motion was not counted.
No, it wasn't counted.
Yeah, so it was what's supposed to be. But it's just that most of the governors are playing politics, because they have other agenda. They don't want to be seen as enemies, here and there. They are not sure of where the party is headed to tomorrow. So they are like, we are not aware of this, so we are not with it. No, that is what is supposed to be. Had it been the party is intact, anybody that is seen kicking against the party, that is seen as being against the will of progress of that party, should not be allowed to stay if it is actually a political party. But it's unfortunate that it's coming at this time. Yeah, let us see how it goes, because I know that in the coming days, from now to Friday, we'll be hearing of court cases here and there. There will be court cases. People will go to court here and there, to challenge whatever decision that came out